Welcome to Insane Worlds, where we dive into the most fascinating and mysterious phenomena on our planet and beyond. Today, we're unraveling a perplexing and thrilling incident from Texas. On January 8, 2008, an event occurred that left many people in shock and wonder. Was a UFO spotted in Texas? Let's find out. The initial sighting. It was around 6 p.m. just as the sun was setting over Stephenville, Texas. Steve Allen, a local businessman, was hanging out with his friends Mike Odom and Lance Jones. They were planning to enjoy a quiet evening by the campfire. Suddenly, their peaceful gathering was interrupted by an extraordinary sight. As Steve stepped out of his pickup truck, he noticed bright lights approaching at an incredible speed. These weren't ordinary lights. They were intense and almost blinding, like a magnesium flare. He asked his friends if they were seeing the same thing, and they confirmed it. The lights belonged to a large craft moving faster than any aircraft they had ever seen. Pursuit by military jets. As the mysterious craft sped across the sky, Steve and his friends noticed something even more unusual. Two F-16 jets were in hot pursuit, struggling to keep up with the unidentified object. Steve, being familiar with aircraft from attending air shows, was certain these were indeed F-16s. The sight left them all in shock and disbelief. The craft moved swiftly from east to west, outpacing the military jets with ease. The town's reaction. The following week, the small town of Stephenville, Texas, was abuzz with reports of the sighting. Local residents couldn't stop talking about what they had seen. The town quickly became a hotspot for UFO enthusiasts and media outlets. Everyone wanted to know more about the strange lights and the object that had raced across the sky. Local businesses seized the opportunity to create and sell UFO-themed merchandise. High school kids made t-shirts, and the town's excitement reached a fever pitch. It seemed everyone had an opinion or a story to share about the incredible event. Media coverage and public interest. Angela Joyner, a staff writer for the Empire Tribune, covered the story. Steve Allen's account was so sincere and detailed that she was convinced he had seen something extraordinary. The story made the front page, and the response was overwhelming. Newspapers sold out quickly, and Angela's phone rang off the hook with calls from people eager to share their own experiences or to learn more about the sighting. The national media picked up the story, and soon, Stephenville was in the spotlight. Major news outlets covered the event, bringing even more attention to the small Texas town. It wasn't long before the sighting was a topic of conversation across the country. Historical context of UFO sightings. The Stephenville sighting was not an isolated incident. UFO sightings have a long history in the United States, dating back to the late 1940s. One of the most famous early sightings occurred on June 24, 1947, when pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing a chain of 9 silvery objects flying at incredible speeds near Mount Rainier in Washington. His description of their movement as saucers skipping across the water led to the term flying saucers. During the Cold War, the number of UFO sightings increased dramatically. People were constantly scanning the skies, fearful of a Soviet attack. It was only natural that unidentified objects in the sky would spark widespread concern and curiosity. Government and military response. In response to the growing number of UFO sightings, the U.S. government launched several investigation programs. Project Blue Book, which ran from 1952 to 1969, was one of the most notable efforts. The project aimed to analyze and explain UFO reports. It examined over 12,000 sightings, many of which bore striking resemblances to the objects seen in more recent reports, including the one in Stephenville. Despite the extensive investigations, the government's stance on UFOs often involved downplaying or dismissing the sightings. This approach led to public skepticism and fueled conspiracy theories about what the authorities might be hiding. The Cold War influence. The Cold War had a significant impact on how UFO sightings were perceived and handled. During this tense period, the U.S. government and military were focused on national security and the threat of Soviet aggression. UFOs were often seen through this lens of fear and potential danger. General Nathan Twining of the Air Force even issued a memo stating that the phenomena reported were something real and not visionary or fictitious. This acknowledgement from a high-ranking military official highlighted the seriousness with which some sightings were taken, despite the public skepticism and ridicule. The Robertson Panel and Project Blue Book. In 1953, the CIA convened the Robertson Panel, a group of top scientists tasked with examining the UFO phenomenon. Their conclusion was that the sightings were not a direct security threat, but could be used as a distraction by enemies. The panel's recommendations led to a policy of debunking and ridiculing UFO reports to prevent public panic. Project Blue Book, influenced by these recommendations, often provided questionable explanations for sightings. This approach only increased public frustration and distrust. The project was eventually shut down in 1969, but not before examining thousands of reports, many of which remain unexplained. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the unexplained. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the Stephenville sighting. Do you think it was a UFO? We'd love to hear your theories and experiences. Stay curious, and until next time, keep exploring the insane worlds around you.